So this short little Matt Ryan stint in Indianapolis has been very underwhelming, to say the very least. The Indianapolis Colts need to cut him this offseason. And it's not just a matter of fact of, him being horrible. That's a lot of it, but the Colts need to go on a different path. They need to go and find some young blood. You can't keep going with these veterans and keep thinking, oh, one more year with the veteran. No, it starts to catch up with the rest of the team. The team gets tired of having to adapt to a new leader, not named the head coach every year. It just gets tiring, and it's not doing it. And Matt Ryan especially, there's a few reasons why Matt Ryan needs to be cut. But first off, before we get into that, make sure you like, subscribe, put that post notification bell on so you don't miss any future videos. If you enjoy Colts content, NFL content, this is the place for you. You're not, you'd be missing quite a bit. You'd be missing quite a bit if you let this opportunity go. So give me a shot, give me a chance, and you'll never regret it. So, Matt Ryan, man, threw for just over 3,000 yards, 14 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and he fumbled a buttload too. And it's safe to say Matt Ryan is not a good quarterback under pressure. Under pressure, he is not very good. Just flat out is pretty bad. And it's just a matter of fact that this Colts team, they need to move on. They were excited. We were excited before this season. We're like, yeah, he can maybe bring us back to that Phil Rivers year, get us to the playoffs, bring consistency and discipline to this team. Didn't do any of that. And that means it's time to go and find some young blood, to maybe find someone in the draft. But the main reason why you need to cut your ties with him is because if you cut him prior to March 17th, you will save just over $17.2 million this year. That is so important considering you have some big contract extensions coming up on the horizon. Yeah, you're going to hit a cap of about 18. Dead cap. But you're going to save 17. And it's needed. Especially when you have contracts like Jonathan Taylor coming up. That's another story for another day. Paying running back big money. It's not that he's not worth it. He just had an injury this year. He had a lot of carries in college. That was one of his cons coming out. He had a lot of tread in those tires, and it's already known that running backs have a short shelf life, so that's going to be interesting. Michael Pittman Jr.'s contract year is coming up, and he may get extended this year, maybe not, but issue with Pittman is he just did not have a good year this past year. He really let us down. Seems like Alec Pierce made a lot more impact plays and were consistent with making impact plays. And when the ball was thrown his way, Michael Pittman, not too much. He fumbled a few times. Michael Pittman fumbled more than half the times and Pierce dropped the ball. Yeah, that's not a fun statistic. And Pittman has dropped a few. He just was a big letdown this year. A big letdown this past year. So, the Colts need to go cut Matt Ryan and evaluate what they have here, Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor. There are some other guys this year that I would like them to resign. They should resign Paris Campbell, Chase McLaughlin, maybe give Ashton Doolin a short, maybe like a 1 year. I'd say no to Doolin, but, I don't see why we wouldn't. He's a good special teams player. A few other players there, Unique Ngakoue is on the block. Don't know if you're going to want to resign him or not. I wouldn't personally, but it's time to cut Matt Ryan. He's had a phenomenal career. It just didn't work out in Indy. It's going to save us a lot of money. And it's just not going to happen for next year. The Colts aren't really going anywhere anyways. But when you have a quarterback that is played as incompetent as it was last year, you got to cut your ties. You got to say that's it. And it sucks. Matt Ryan says, has said yesterday, he loves football. He's not ready to hang it up yet. He thinks he's still got a lot of good football left in him. It's just far from the truth, my friend. We love you. You had a phenomenal career. And people are going to remember you for the crappy moments. The choke to Minnesota. The choke to New England. Unfortunately, that's how you're going to be remembered. And it sucks because you're a phenomenal player. You're a phenomenal quarterback, a phenomenal leader. And people are going to miss you. But at the end of the day, you're 38, 39 years old. Arm isn't there. Don't keep ruining your legacy, man. Don't keep putting it down the drain. You know, he may be determined to come back to try and fix that, to try and go out on a good note. And not having a ring hurts too. And it's going to hurt to see another legend go. Really, Matt Ryan goes, it's not the end of an era in that terms, in that era, but it really, brings us into the new era even more. I know maybe Matt Ryan has been good for, 2 years now, maybe. But just the fact of the 2010 decade quarterbacks, the 2000 quarterbacks, it's just kind of rounding it off. You had Tom Brady retire, Peyton Manning obviously has been retired for a while. Ben retired a few years ago. Philip Rivers retired a few years ago. Drew Brees retired a few years ago. Just so many phenomenal players, quarterbacks, legends from a fantastic era. It's their time. It's a new era in the NFL where Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, you have Kyler Murray's running around. It hurts. It sucks. Stafford is still around, which he's not really considered in that Rivers, Big Ben, Breeze, Manning era. More so maybe the Matt Ryan era. Sucks. But it's time to move on. Time to move on to greater things. And, Matt Ryan just doesn't have it anymore, man. He just doesn't. Not great decision making. Very limited when it comes to, anything. He can't really move, can't really throw down the field. And on top of that, he's not the greatest under pressure. He's pretty bad under pressure. Last year he was. Yeah, he didn't have great receiving options. But, at the end of the day, there were times where Paris Campbell was open a lot, some other players that were finding ways to get open, the ball just wasn't getting there. Maybe Matt Ryan just not having enough time. Maybe starts looking down the pass rush, can't trust it. Yeah, just don't think right, but kind of comes with the job in the NFL. But that's it for Matt Ryan, man. Whether he plays more or not, I don't see him really doing any better than he has in the last 2 years. Just don't see it. And especially the sheer amount of fumbles, the ball security. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's historically horrible. It's just the end of the road. It's just the end. So, that's it for this episode. You guys let me know what you think. Should the Indianapolis Colts cut Matt Ryan, get ready to move on, and get some young blood in the building, whether it's this year or next year? Because it may be a good idea to draft Jalen Carter or Will Anderson. But the reason why it's not going to happen is because Ballard is under pressure. He's in the midst of losing his job. Jim Irsay is impatient. It's just not a time to go and put quarterback on the back burner again. I'm not saying to put on the back burner. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. And that it's not a need. It's absolutely a need. It's the fact that I'm not high on any of these quarterbacks this year, man. You give me if you want me to give you my honest thoughts, draft Anderson or Carter at 4. And, unless you have Chicago and Arizona picking 3 or 2 and 3, you're probably gonna pick those 2 guys. Then you pick a quarterback there, whether it's C.J. Stroud or Young, whoever the Texans take if they do move up there. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of things to talk about. So you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for tuning into the JDW Sports Talk Show, where your fans welcome. Hope that you enjoyed this episode. I had a damn good time making it, as I do with every video. This is my happy place. This is where I belong. And you guys make it worthwhile. You guys make it so much fun, honestly. So thank you guys for watching. This is JDW Sports Talk Show, signing off.